Hello everyone, I'm Celsius. Today I would like to show you a very special car, and it is also a very interesting car here in Taiwan. Alright, it is very hard to see such a car here in Taiwan as well as in America. Actually, this car is not officially imported to Taiwan nor North America, but somebody still like to bring it from other country here to come to Taiwan because this car is very special, and it got very long story about this car series. Actually, this car is the oldest car series in Japan. The very first generation comes from 1955, and we would say it has 70 years old now. Well, do you have any idea what car that we want to introduce to you at this video? Yes, let's take a look about this Toyota Crown. Okay, certainly this Crown is not the latest version or the oldest version as well. The latest Crown is the 16th generation, and actually I don't think it is the pure Crown, especially the Crown crossover. For me, I think the Crown should be a sedan and should be the rear-wheel drive. But actually the Crown crossover is an FF or F4WD SUV. I think the Crown crossover is just a kind of Camry crossover, or maybe the Toyota Venza. So I don't think the Crown crossover is the pure Crown. It is just a SUV called Crown, but not pure Crown. The logic is the same at the Century SUV. It is not the pure Toyota Century as well. Well, now what we see, this one is the 8th generation Toyota Crown, which presented in 1987 till 1991. Actually, the Crown ever exported to North America at very first. When Toyota presented the first generation Crown at 1955, they think this car is very good car and it could sell in other countries very well, including North America. So according to the data, we can track the very first Crown import to the America would be around 1957, but actually this car failed. So Toyota get cancelled the import to America business. Maybe it imported again to America at 1962, which could be the second generation of Toyota Crown, but I'm not very sure. According to the database from the Toyota, they said they canceled the Crown export to North America at 1972, and at 2022 the Crown crossover officially import to the America again, which means the close 50 years there's no officially imported Crown sold in North America as well. That's very interesting, because actually I have no idea if the latest Crown get well sold or poor sold in America. If you know about that, please drop your message. Actually, I ever been to North America just at maybe 1997, 20 or 30 years ago. Certainly I never see Crown in North America. Okay, let's talk about the Crown, this car. This car is a very important car, no matter for the Toyota or for the Japanese. Actually, many Japanese think the very first Crown born in the 1955, so they take 1955 for the start of the Japanese domestic cars. Why? Because this is not the very first car presented by the Japanese. Why this car would be taken as the very first start? Okay, according to some database, that we can say the very first Japanese car would be the 1907, and it is not the engine car, it is a steamed car, which is called Yamahane. Certainly that car is not widely produced car. It is very rare. Maybe just built, I think maybe 10 or 20, maybe. I'm not sure because there's no data for I can check. And later, the Japan got many kind of car manufacturer. For example, if you ever heard about a brand called Daihatsu, Daihatsu was founded in 1904, but at very first it wasn't produced any four-wheel cars. It produced for the motor engine. And later we got the Nissan, we got a Mitsubishi, we got a Isuzu, we got a Toyota as well. So they have many manufacturers born in early 1930s. Certainly, there are many imported cars in Japan before World War II. For example, the General Motors and Ford groups has the production factory in Japan. I think maybe in the Osaka and Yokohama. So the founder of the Toyota think we should build ourselves cars in Japan, and we have to make our car to get the competition with those foreign cars. So at very first, the Toyota found this brand Toyota, but at very first it called Toyota, Toyoda. Actually, the name for the Toyota pronounced for the Toyota, not Toyota. Later, they think the Toyota is not very well for pronunciation, so they changed the name from Toyoda to Toyota. But it is just later. The very first Toyota cars named the Toyota AA means the very first car. It was presented in 1937, and people say this car is not built by Toyota 100%, especially for the design, because this car was take a lot of inspiration from the Chrysler Airflow. This car, actually, we can see the very first Toyota got a very similar exterior and interior as well as the Americans does. Well, when the Toyota got the very first car, Toyota AA, and later they get the minor change or improved model called Toyota AB, Toyota AC, AD, AE, and later becomes the BA, BB, BC. After Toyota presented the Toyota BC, the World War II got around to be closed. After World War II, the GHQ occupied Japan, and the GHQ thought there's not necessary for the Japanese to build the cars. They should do something much closer for the people. The automobile is not necessary for that kind of Japanese. So the GHQ don't agree the Toyota or Nissan or Mitsubishi or Isuzu, anybody to produce the cars except some extreme situation. For example, the GHQ say that Toyota could produce some Toyota AE after World War II for some officially use. For example, we got many foreign general live in Japan. They need some cars, so they agreed that Toyota produced a myriad numbers for the Toyota AE after World War II. But well, the Toyota doesn't want to just build so few cars after World War II. They want to build some cars which could be bought by many Japanese people, by normal Japanese people. So Toyota still got some development for the new car after World War II. And later, the GHQ agrees that the Toyota and other Japanese car company could produce 300 cars per year since 1947. And soon, the Toyota present the new car, the very first new car after World War II, called Toyopet SA. Why this car called Toyopet, not Toyota or Toyota? Because at the same time, Toyota also produced the truck called the Toyota G1. Toyota think if we get the passenger car also called as well as this name Toyota, people will get confused. They don't they would get confused for if this car is a commercial use car or the passenger car. So Toyota think we should get a different logo. We should get different pronunciation. So they get their passenger car called Toyopet, T-O-Y-O-P-E-T. Yeah, certainly, it's a kind of pet. The very first Toyopet SA got many interesting at this name. The first S means standard, and the second alphabet A means the very first standard sedan. That's very first standard passenger car, so they called Toyopet or SA. And when Toyota got the Toyopet SA present in the 1947, Toyota also got many interesting commercial activity. For example, they got a brand new Toyopet SA race with the fastest train in Japan at that while. Certainly, the result for this competition, the Toyopet is earlier than the train to arrive the target. And people think, oh, this car is very gorgeous, this car is very impressive. So the Toyota think, okay, we can get many very good sales in figures, in the numbers. But actually, the Toyopet SA just sold for 215 cars. It's far less than the 300 cars every year, the limit offered by the GHQ. Well, the Toyota didn't give up. They think we can get a minor change, we can improve this car. So later they get a Toyopet SB. And in other way, there is a Korean War in 1949. This Korean War changed the fate of the Japan and many other East Asia countries. Certainly, the Korean and the Japan is the most important. The America take the Japan for the back support at the Korean Wars. So the GHQ cancelled all kinds of the limit after World War II. So many Japanese car manufacturers could produce any kind of cars, especially for the truck, because they have to support trucks or jeep cars for the American military to use in the Korean War. And they got a lot of profit when they produced this car and sold to the American military as well. Once they get the money, they have the power to get a new car development. So the Toyota got a lot of new idea. And not only Toyota, the Nissan, Mitsubishi, Isuzu, and even the Hino got such profit in. So they would like to produce the latest passenger cars. But how to do it? Because if they want to get the new car, they need the technology. They need the ability. How to get this technology? How to get those know-hows? We got two ways to get them. At first one, you can develop it yourself. The second one, you can cooperate with other brands. The Nissan, Mitsubishi, Isuzu, Hino chose the second way because it is easier. For example, Nissan got cooperation with the Hillman. Got cooperation with the Austin, and Isuzu got cooperation with the Hillman. Hino got cooperation with the Renault, and Mitsubishi got cooperation with the Henry. But Toyota think, no, we should develop the cars on ourselves, by ourselves, not with the other brand at other countries. So the Toyota chose the hard way actually. And later, the Toyota made it. That would be the first generation of the Toyota Crown, presented in 1955. So Japanese think this is very exquisite, this is very impressive. So they take the 1955 for the Japanese domestic cars very first year at 1955. That's why. But actually, when the very first generation of the Crown presented to the market, Toyota also got something not very shown. For example, when you see the very first generation of Toyota Crown, you will find the rear door is very interesting. For example, we can see this 8th generation Toyota Crown gets the rear door opened at this way. Okay, it is nothing special. But when you see the picture for the first generation Toyota Crown, you will find the rear door will be open at here. That is different way, just like the Rolls-Royce Phantom or Rolls-Royce Ghost. I'm not sure. I know the Rolls-Royce Phantom opened the rear door this way, but I'm not sure if the Rolls-Royce Ghost also get the same back door. Okay, that would be a very interesting design because there's no other Japanese cars open the back door at that way. Why the Toyota want to take this design for the first generation Toyota Crown? That's because the road condition. Actually, after the World War II, the biggest car buyer would be the taxi company. And people, for normal people, they couldn't afford the money to buy a car, and the taxi companies said the road condition of in Japan after World War II is very, very bad. There are very muds. The road condition is very, very bad. So the car will get dust and dirt very, very easy, and especially at the rear wheel, because they are the rear wheel drive, and there are many dust and dirt. If you get open the back door at this way, when the people want to get in the car, you will easily get your shorts, your skirts dirty very, very easy. So the taxi company suggests the Toyota, you should solve this problem. So the Toyota, okay, no problem, I can make it. So they get the back door open at this way. Certainly, this design is very, very popular because people found, oh, I can get into the car without my pants, my shorts, my skirts get dirty. That's very interesting. So the very first Toyota Crown got very big very well in the sales figure at the very first, and even the Japanese government or some office also think we should buy the Toyota Crown. So later we can see there are many Toyota Crown and the patrol car or even firefighter cars, or maybe for the press for the official government. You can see many Toyota Crowns in everywhere in Japan, even till now. But later, why the second generation Toyota Crown got those doors cancelled? You can see from the very first till now there are 16th generation for Toyota Crown, but just the very first Toyota Crown got the back door opened at this way, and later, since the second generation, they open the back door from this way. Why? Because if we open the back door at this way, they will get some problem. First is for the safety. The second one is that many people take the taxi when they arrive their destination, and they get out of the cars, and at the very first they won't close the door when they get off the car, and the customer get gone. So the taxi driver have to get out of the car and get close to the back door and get in the car and get drive. That is not very convenient. So later, those taxi driver, especially for the Crown, they find there's another easy way to close the door. How to take it? I just hit the gas and hit the brake at the same time. That will be, I start my car and stop soon, and the back door will be closed. But that would be another problem, is the car behind you will get confused. So there are many car accidents comes from here. So the Toyota think, okay, we shouldn't get this design as well. And later, in 1964, there is the first time for the Japan Olympic called Tokyo Olympic. At the Tokyo Olympic, the road condition for Japan got much improved, especially they got a highway. So there's not necessary to slap the dust and dirt on the cars. So the Toyota got second generation Toyota Crown and present the normal back door as well till now. And there's another interesting name for the Toyota Crown. The first generation Toyota Crown, we got the chassis number for RS. Why it called RS? The S means standard, just the same as the Torpedo SA, the S. And how about the R? The R represents the engine, the R-type engine. For example, this car, here you can see the chassis number called MS135L. The first character for the initial M means it got the 7M engine, and the S means the Crown S, the standard. That's very interesting. And the second generation Crown called RS40 or MS40, just depends if it got the R-type engine or M-type engine. The M-type engine is very important engine series for the Crown. Actually, the first generation for the M series engine presented in the second generation of Toyota Crown since 1964. The M engine means the straight 6, inline 6, and the very first they got 2000 cc, and later we got 3M for the 2.3 liter and 4M for 2.6, and later 5M for the 2.8. Both the 6M and 7M are 3.0 liters, and there's no 8M because the 7M is the final edition for the M series engine, and later it comes for the JZ, the 1JZ and the 2JZ as well. And now and when the Crown got to the 12th generation for the S180, they got GR series, that will be the V6. Until now we got 4-cylinder. I have no idea what's the name for the latest 4-cylinder turbo or hybrid. I have no idea because I'm not familiar with the new cars, I'm sorry. And there is another interesting that when the first generation of Toyota Crown got very success at the Japanese domestic market, the other rivals got revenge. Okay, you take such standard sedan and get very popular. I want to take it as well. So Nissan got the first generation of Cedric at 1959, and Mitsubishi present the first generation Mitsubishi Debonair at 1964. They got many kinds of cars to choose from the same market. So Toyota have to improve their Crown to make the competition at the local market as well. So the first generation of Toyota Crown got very small and even smaller than the Yaris or Vios, but the second generation of Toyota Crown got wider, bigger. It's just the same as the American cars. So certainly the size are different, but the style is the same as the American cars. And even there are V8 engine for the second generation of Toyota Crown called Crown 8, and later the Crown 8 becomes the first generation of Toyota Century. The third generation Toyota Crown got much more personal style, and they also present the Crown HardTop coupe, the 2-door hardtop. There's no B-pillar as well. And the third generation Toyota Crown got another interesting advertisement. If you ever went to Japan, you'll find that the people there were very interesting for the white, especially at the luxury cars. For example, you can see many Mercedes-Benz S-Class in white, and many Toyota Crown in white, many BMW 7 Series in white. Why? The reason is the third generation of Toyota Crown. When Toyota presents the third generation Toyota Crown, they are thinking about one thing: how to make the advertisement. At first generation, it is start. The second generation will be luxury. The third generation should be personal, should be i-style. So they think, how about we make this car at for the white color. At that time, the third generation of Toyota Crown presented in 1967. Maybe 80% of cars on the road in Japan would be the black or dark blue or dark green. There are very few cars went in white. So the Toyota think, how about we get a white crown as the third generation, and it's called Shiroi Crown, which would be the Japanese for the white crown. And they got the advertisement at television and even at radio to present the white crown is very gorgeous, it's very personality, is very well at personality. People were saying, oh yes, we should buy some car for ourselves, especially for the Crown hardtop coupe and in white. So people would like this car in white, and later all kinds of luxury cars or the rivals got, okay, we can present also in white. That's why Japanese like the white luxury car till now. That is bought by the third generation of Toyota Crown. That's very interesting. And later we got the fourth generation of Toyota Crown called S60. It was presented in 1971. The fourth generation S60 Toyota Crown is a very interesting car because it got very strange exterior as well as the interior. If you got on the internet, you will find the first, the second generation, third generation Crown is certainly conservative, but fourth generation Toyota Crown is very interesting. The shape, the exterior are totally different from any generation of Toyota Crown. Why? Because Toyota found one thing. When we present the first generation, the second generation, and third generation, people who bought the Crown got older and older. We should refresh the brand, the image of the brand of this product. When the fourth generation presented in 1971, they got a very young, very interesting style at exterior. Okay, such style got some problem at the old Crown buyer as well, but there's still some young people. Oh, I think the fourth generation Crown is very exquisite, it's very handsome. So they lose some customer and they got some customer in, some customer out. But there's another big problem for the fourth generation broken out at 1972. That which is called the Tokyo traffic jam. At 1972, there would be 17 years ago after World War II. The economy of Japan got very thrive, and many people could afford to buy a car, especially when the Toyota got the first generation Toyota Corolla in 1966. The Japanese could afford the family car at very well. So there are many cars on the road. At 1972, there is a big traffic jam broke out at Tokyo, and for many days. And actually, there are still many taxi drivers who chose the Toyota Crown for their taxi. And when they get a traffic jam, and that is a very hot day, when they stopped their car at the traffic jam, they found some problem with their indicator. Suddenly, they got many Toyota Crown got overheat. So people say, oh, what's going on with this car? Before the fourth generation, there's no problem for the Crown, especially there are very few problems with the overheat. But there are many cases at the fourth generation Crown which got the overheat. So people would think, okay, this car is not reliable. So people would like to buy the Nissan Cedric or Nissan Gloria as well. And another problem is the Nissan presented the 230 Nissan Cedric, Nissan Gloria in maybe, I think will be the 1971. And there is a very interesting sign for the Nissan Cedric 230. There is no B-pillar for the 4-door hardtop sedan. Now you can see this 8th generation Toyota Crown is hardtop. The hardtop will be the frameless for the window, but you can see there is still the B-pillar right here as well. But when Nissan presented the 230 Nissan Cedric, Nissan Gloria, there is no B-pillar. That would be, you will get very great for the side view, no matter in the cars or outside of cars, which will make this car very handsome. So people think, okay, the Nissan got very handsome at the exterior and the interior, and there's no overheat problem for the Nissan Cedric and Nissan Gloria. So people would like to buy the Nissan rather than the Toyota Crown. Later, the Toyota Crown got dropped from the top sales for the rivals in 1972, and Nissan Cedric plus Nissan Gloria got the top sales for the same class, for the same segment. Toyota got big problem, so they got a minor change for the 4th generation of Toyota Crown, but it's too late. Toyota think, okay, we should get full model change as soon as possible. But there is another big problem for Toyota and other Japanese domestic car manufacturer. That's called Showa 53 regulation. What means Showa 53 regulation? That would be the 1970s. There is a senator, I'm not sure if he is a senator, called Maskey. And he thought that there are many air pollution. So we have to anti such air pollution, especially for the cars. So we should get the cars with low emission and very well at oil consumption. And Japan also got, we should get the same way, we should do the same thing. So the Japanese government got the Showa 51 regulation and later Showa 53 regulation. The Showa 50 means the Showa 51 year, then as well as the Showa 53 means the 53 years, which will be the 1976 and 1978. Those regulation is very tough. Many Japanese domestic brands think that is mission impossible, but the Japanese government is very insist to get the Showa 53 regulation. So include the Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Isuzu, they have to face this problem. So you can see the cars present in the late 1970s in Japan, there is not very sporty car, or the power of the engine, our output is very small. That's for the Showa 51 regulation or 53 regulation. For example, for Toyota, at the very first, Toyota got a group for the Showa 53 around 500 people with maybe 10 billion Japanese yen for this development. And at the final, this group got over 10,000 people with I think maybe with 200 billion Japan yen to develop the engine could pass the Showa 53 regulation. Certainly Toyota made it, or Toyota couldn't sell their cars at the market after Showa 53 years. And so the Toyota got many money to develop the engine, so they are not very sufficient for the design for the exterior and the interior. The easiest way is for the back way. So the 5th generation of Toyota Crown got the same shape as well as American car, and they still present the hardtop, the frameless hardtop, but they got the B-pillared hardtop, which will be as this car as you see now. So they have to compete with the pure no B-pillar hardtop for Nissan cars by B-pillar the hardtop Toyota Crown, and this works. The people would like to buy the 5th generation Toyota Crown and make the sales figure closer than the Nissan Cedric plus Nissan Gloria as well. And later, the Crown got back to the sales #1 at 1979. And later, there's no other cars could compete with the Toyota Crown till now. Okay. At the 6th generation, the Toyota Crown got back to their own style. The 6th generation of Toyota Crown got their style just like Japanese cars. You couldn't think this car is shaped the same as the American cars or European cars. They got their self-design better and better. And later they got 7th generation Toyota Crown presented in 1983. Okay. This car, you can see now, this car is the 8th generation of Toyota Crown. Actually, it is just a minor change for the 7th generation Toyota Crown. They got closely the same chassis, they got closely the same transmission box and the engine, as well as the interior. Because the designer for the 7th generation of the Toyota Crown, he thought we should get this car presented for the 8 years. So we got a revolutionary innovation, but we still got minor change. We should get latest technology at the 8th generation. There's a very interesting that this car got frame. Yeah, it is frame body. Many people get shocked. What? This is frame body? Yes. Actually, the Crown got monocoque body since the 10th generation. That's very interesting. Before 10th generation, the Toyota Crown always got a frame body, and at 7th generation Toyota Crown, they called it floating body. That means, well, I am a kind of a car with frame body, but this frame body is very comfortable. For example, when you see the television advertisement for the 7th generation Toyota Crown, they will present this car at a very bad road, but very steady at interior. Even you get cigarette, you won't worry about the cigarette ash will be shaken by the bad road condition. That's very interesting because they got the frame body with individual four-wheel suspension and the four-wheel suspension are all double wishbone. That's very exquisite. And also they got the air suspension at the 8th generation with the traction control. That is the latest technology. Actually, if you get the picture to compare with the 8th generation, the 7th generation and 8th generation are similar. We can say the 7th generation we got square shape at the shape, and the 8th generation will get a little bit more, get circle more around. Toyota said the 7th generation of Toyota Crown looks like a quiet car, a stopped car, but when they get the 8th generation, they think this car is moving, this car is activity. So they got different design language at exterior. And there is another different that would be at the C pillar. When we see the 7th generation of the 7th generation of Toyota Crown, they will say that there is a crystal C pillar. You can check the picture at internet. The C pillar is very exquisite at the 7th generation, but there's not very special design for the 8th generation because Toyota think that is not that's not for this segment. But the Toyota still got another way to design this car at the hardtop. That will be the smoked black A pillar, and actually the back mirrors should be paint at black at this parts. It is wrong because the owner before me, I don't know why they got the paint in white right here, but it is wrong. If you check the picture from the internet for the 8th generation Toyota Crown, this one should be the black. And actually, the exterior of the 8th generation Toyota Crown is just the same as the 1980s Toyota cars, just like the Toyota Camry or Toyota Corona. Certainly, the Toyota Crown got much more luxury and much more gorgeous as exterior. Just the same as the Crown crossover. You can see the face of the Crown crossover just the same as the Toyota Prius and the Toyota Camry as well. But I think I like this exterior, and I think this design is very well. And this car, the 8th generation Toyota Crown presented in 1987, which would be the bubble economy at Japan and at the top of the bubble economy in Japan. So this car got very great at the sales figure. Even if I didn't go wrong, it sold 200,000 cars per year in 1989. That would be very gorgeous. And even they sold 20,000 Toyota Crown in 1 month. That is the record for the Toyota Crown. And later they got Toyota 9th generation of Toyota Crown present in 1991. Okay, that's the history of Toyota Crown since the 1st generation to the 8th generation. And later, let's take another point for this car, the 8th generation of Toyota Crown at exterior and the interior and the engine room. Okay. This Toyota Crown is my car. I bought it in 8 years ago, and I like Toyota Crown very well. When I went to Japan for the travel at very first time, maybe the 1997, I like this car very well. And there's bad news that there's not officially imported to Taiwan for this generation. How could I bought this car? I will talk to you about this history later in this movie. Now I would like to show you the interesting parts at the exterior and the interior and the engine room as well. Okay, I think the 8th generation of Toyota Crown got combined the Toyota Camry and Toyota Corona the same at the front and the rear. That's very interesting. But another interesting is for the fog lamp. I think this design is very interesting. Usually we get the fog lamp right here at the bump, or maybe right here in the headlamps. But the Toyota Crown got here to build in the front grille. Certainly, it was inspired since the 7th generation Toyota Crown. But I think the 8th generation Toyota Crown got this design is very well, very interesting. And another interesting is that they got two-tone cars that would be white at the upper side and the gray at the lower side. That is the exquisite color for this car, and which is very beautiful. And there's another interesting is this one, this emblem. If you get into Japan, there is no emblems for the Japanese Crown. That's very interesting. There are many emblems for Mitsubishi or for the Nissan, but not for Toyota. Even if you bought the Toyota Century, there is no emblem on the hood. No. This emblem is for export version of Toyota Crown. That's very interesting. So this emblem, why the JDM cars, the JDM Toyota Crown, there's no emblem on the hood, I have no idea. But I think if we get this emblem at hood, that's very exquisite. That's very beautiful. Especially this this logo got metal, they got glass. When you drive on the road, no matter at the tunnels or when there's rain, that will be very, very beautiful. I like this logo very, very well. And certainly this car is the hardtop, and this is hardtop with sedan. There are sedan and hardtop brought in the 8th generation. They are some different design at the exterior, but certainly I like the hardtop much more because hardtop got much more personality. And there is a little bit different at the equipment. For example, we got 15-inch alloy wheels at hardtop, but there's only 14-inch wheels at sedan. And certainly they got different at the frame. This is frameless for the hardtop, and if you got the sedan, you got the frame at the window. And there are the interior for the hardtop and sedan got different in interior, but that is for the JDM model. If you got export model, there is no hardtop interior at export version, but that is very interesting. Now you can see this car is hardtop at exterior, but with interior the same as the Crown sedan. That's very interesting. If you get a picture for the hardtop, you will find the dashboard are totally different. But that's very interesting. You can see that it is digital instrument. This digital instrument is for the hardtop, not for sedan. If you check the catalogs, you'll find there is no digital instrument in Japan domestic market. That's very interesting. And this digital dashboard is very exquisite. Let's take a look at that. You can see they are all digital, but suddenly it is now around 35 years or maybe 37 years old, so they got some problem with the water temperature and the oil tank. They are broken as well, so I got the new water temperature for here to help me to maintain this car. And there are many interesting in the interior at the interior as well. At the very first, you couldn't find any woody trim right here inside for the 7th generation or 8th generation for the Toyota Crown, because Toyota think we should get younger. So if you check the photo for the 6th generation or even 9th generation, there are many woody trim, but not in the 7th or 8th generation of Toyota Crown. And another interesting one is at the seat. There are just the fabric. Currently, they got many different kind of level for the fabric. The top of the fabric is this kind. The fabric is the same as the Toyota Century. And there's no leather seat, no real leather seat, because they think the leather seat is for the elders. We should build some cars for the younger people. That's interesting. And another interesting is the mirror. Okay, this is the board for the shadow. There's no mirror, and here we still couldn't find the mirror right here. Where is the mirror? The answer is right here. The mirror is right here. That's very interesting. And if you get later at the 9th generation of Toyota Crown sedan, the air condition, it will be automatic swing, but there's no option for the 8th generation. That's very pity. And certainly we got the auto climate control air condition right here, and even we got rear air conditioner, which will be comes from right here and right here. And at the back seat there is another air conditioned refrigerator. That's very interesting. We will show you when we sit at the back. At the front there are many other interesting that would be what? I like this handler because the handler is got very good at condition. And even when they got minor change at 1989, the style of the handler got different. But I think before minor change, this quality is better than after minor change. And this car, we got the manual transmission and the automatic transmission as well. But this car is RoyalSaloon, so they just got the automatic transmission at the export version. And this one is the handbrake as well. And the interesting part is right here. It is for the glove box, center glove box. But how to open it? Not from here, just from here. So you can see, it is for the right-hand drive cars, not for the left-hand drive cars. But if you see this gear knob and the bottom of the gear knob, you see, okay, the PRND is for the left-hand drive. That's interesting. Another interesting is for the nameplate. What nameplate? Not license plate, the nameplate. Actually, it is HardTop. And the left-hand drive HardTop only officially import to the Middle East. So you can see a lot of Arabian character right here. And we can see this MS135L, which means this car is very, very new. Okay, it's very, very new when the MS135 presented in 1987. It is a very brand new car. Certainly, they got power seats, they got adjustable handler, but we can see the sticker right here. They got many lever. I think the lever memory should be the French. I don't know if this car also import to the North Africa or other French countries. I'm not sure, but there's no any data shows about this information. When I see the officially data, we just see this car was imported to the Middle East only. There's not import to the China mainland or Southeast Asia as well. Okay, let's take a look about the engine room, and that's interesting. If you want to open the engine, you should take this knob, but here is for the gasoline. So I got confused when I opened the engine hood or the gasoline many times. That's interesting. Certainly, if you want to open the trunk, the knob is not right here, just right here. The bottom is here. Okay, let's take a look about the engine room of this 8th generation Toyota Crown. Okay, here we see it is the M series engine final edition called 7M GE. Okay, the 7M, the difference for the 7M and the 6M would be the Volvo, and as well as the horsepower. There is 190 brake horsepower for the 6M and 200 brake horsepower for the 7M, and there is not 8M engine. And we can see we got the cruise control, and we got a very big air filter. This air filter is just the same as the Land Cruiser 70 and 60 as well. That's very interesting. And if you see the Japanese domestic model, that will be the 7M GEU, not 7M GE. The GEU means they got clear for the Showa 53 generation. And certainly this engine is just the same as the Toyota Cressida and the Toyota Supra 870. Certainly there's no turbo version for Crown, but there is 7M GTE for the Supra Turbo, for the Supra 870 as well. So that's very interesting for this engine room. And you can see there is a side lamp, but actually there's no lamp inside. This one could be sparkled, but the light comes from here. That's very interesting. Certainly it is not very easy to recognize, no matter in the daylight or at night. That's very sad. Okay, and let's take a look about the back seat. The back seat for the HardTop is not as comfortable as the sedan. I think the Toyota would make the character different from the sedan and hardtop. The sedan should be the back owner, but the hardtop should be self-driving. I think that they are a little bit different. And it is a rear-wheel drive car, so the legroom for the back seat is not very well. Even the Camry will be bigger, will be wider, but that doesn't matter because this car is luxury. It's much more luxury than the Toyota Camry. And there are some interesting equipment at the back seat. First is the air conditioner right here, and it is the reading lamp, and they got a very big handler right here. And there's an interesting one is for here. If you see that the back seat that you want to open your air conditioner, there is the button right here, and here we can get the audio controller for the front audio system. Certainly the audio system for this car now is not the original one. I changed it to the 1993 Toyota Camrys. When I bought this car, the original audio system was gone. I'm so sad. I have no idea where it is, but that's no problem because this audio system got very exquisite. It even got an amplifier, but the problem is it would make this one useless. I'm so sad. And there is a big center console. If you got the Japanese domestic version, you can make the option for the secondary car phone right here, but there is no option for this. Is not the option for the export version. And here we can see it is a sound system, and this is this is for the bass sound. And this is the refrigerator. This refrigerator was cooled by the air condition, so the efficiency is not very well, actually. And well, this car is for the hardtop, so the headroom or the legroom is not very well. But I would like to see the back seat as well because it is very comfortable as well. Certainly, it is a kind of Toyota. It is Toyota Crown. Okay, let's take a look at the back. There is a very interesting logo here at the C-pillar, which will be the Crown logo. You can, when you drive this car, you can see the logo just from this back mirror. I think it's very interesting design because when I drove the first generation of S90, Volvo S90 Royal, there's still another logo right here. I like this logo very well. Okay, the back lamp, the tail lamp is just the same as the Toyota V20 Camry, and the crown will be bigger. And I think this one is very exquisite because I always thought the front lamp and the back lamp should be full. You shouldn't get any blank between the lamp to the license plate. I like this kind of design, the same as the Rolls-Royce Silver Spur Silver Spirit in 1980s, in 1990s. I like this very well. And this car is for the hardtop RoyalSaloon. I think there should be hardtop Super Saloon as well, but there is no Super Deluxe hardtop for expert version. And if you get expert version, you will get a sedan for the standard, for the Super Deluxe, for the RoyalSaloon, for the Super Saloon. But there's only RoyalSaloon and Super Saloon for the hardtop for the expert version. And there's no RoyalSaloon G for the expert version. RoyalSaloon G is just for Japanese domestic only, and which will be different at the front bumper. They got another aerodynamics parts. And this one should be openable, but this one is broken. I feel so sad, so I have to stick it right here. And the logo got the Toyota Crown with the 3.0 twin cam 24. All of those logo was bought in the Guangzhou. I bought it 10 years ago, and when I bought those logo, I don't know I will buy this Crown later in Taiwan. So I think it's very interesting. And this engine is for the inline 6, straight 6, but the former owner got changed the pipe and the suspension, so the engine sound will be a little bit bigger. I think if I I can find the original exhaust pipe or suspension, I would like to change to the original parts, but that's very hard. Let's start the engine. Okay, actually this sound is not very big, but I think it should be quieter if we got the original setting. Okay, and the rev will be like this one. Okay, that's very interesting. And the digital tachometer just the same as the Honda S2000. That's very interesting. Okay, let's get off this engine. Okay, that's the simple introduce for the exterior and the interior of this 8th generation Toyota Crown. Later, let's talk about the Crown in Taiwan and why I bought this one for my collection. Okay, the 1st generation Toyota Crown presented in 1955, and the Taiwan get import left-hand drive Toyota 1st generation Crown very soon in 1955 because the Okinawa. Actually, the Taiwan Japanese cars just the same spec as the Okinawa version. Before 1972, the Okinawa is occupied by the American military, but Japanese domestic cars also sold right there. So they got left-hand drive with the Okinawa spec. The climate for Okinawa is just the same as Taiwan, which is humid and hot and easy to rain and a little bit cold at winter. For example, now the photo was this video was taken in December, and now we can see the sunlight is very big, and we got 22 degrees Celsius at outside. So it is not very cold in winter here in Taiwan. So all of the cars sold to Taiwan before 1972 are the same as the Okinawa spec. And we have the 1st generation Toyota Crown for the taxi, because there are many taxi companies would like to buy some cars for the taxi. And later we got 2nd generation Toyota Crown, and later 3rd generation Crown. And according to some data shown, we ever officially import the Crown Coupe at the 3rd generation and 4th generation as well. But there is no 5th generation and later Crown officially imported to Taiwan till the 16th generation Toyota Crown, because the Taiwan government prohibited import cars since 1974, and until the 1997 the Taiwan government reopened again the Japanese made cars imported to Taiwan. That represent since 1974 till 1997, the 20 years period there is prohibited to import Japanese made cars to Taiwan. There are many reasons. We don't talk about that, but why this car could be imported to Taiwan? The government said you can import this car except some other special way. If you got out other country to study, and if you want back to Taiwan, you can bought one. And there is another way, is for the diplomatic way. This car, I believe this car was brought to Taiwan by some embassy, by some diplomatic way, because I don't think any people would like to study at university or even doctorate degree, master degree at Middle East even now. So I believe this car was brought to Taiwan by some country, some embassy for some country, but I don't know which one, because I don't get such data for this car. And this car is not sold in North America, so the car is just could be brought to Taiwan by embassy. There's no other way, I think. But this car is, according to some data, I found that there are maybe over 200 Toyota 7th generation and 8th generation brought to Taiwan by embassy, because this car is full of profit. Why? Okay, the new car, if you want to buy the new car from Toyota, just maybe 1 million Taiwan dollars when you buy a new car. And if you get this car sold to the second-hand buyer, you can sell this car for over 1.5 million Taiwan dollars and even 2 million Taiwan dollars. In 1980s, we can see the car broker sold this car at 3 million Taiwan dollars. That's for the sedan. This one is HardTop. They will sold this car at 3.5 million Taiwan dollars. That is full of profit. You may guess, you may wonder why people would like to spend such money. Because people get rich at late of 1980s. And if you got money, you can buy the Mercedes-Benz 560 SEL, BMW 750iL, and even the Rolls-Royce. But this car is not officially imported to Taiwan. It is very rare. If you can buy this one, it is not only you got money, it represents you got personality. So some rich man would like to buy the Toyota Crown rather than to buy the Mercedes-Benz W126 or BMW 7 Series. So this car got very popular in 1990s or even in 1980s in Taiwan. Okay, and there are just a few HardTop found in Taiwan, and all of them are the 8th generation. Theoretically, there should be 7th generation of Toyota Crown HardTop imported to Taiwan, but there's no evidence shows about that. I ever saw 3 Crown HardTop here in Taiwan. One is this one, white one. The other is light blue, another is silver. But just this one is the 1987 before minor change. The other two are 1989 after minor change. And this car got the lower mileage among those 3 Crown HardTop. This car just got 90,000 kilometers in the odometer. Let's take a look about this. Okay, now it is 91,000 kilos. And I think it is accurate because you can check the interior. This interior got very exquisite, which could cope with this kilometer right here. And how could I bought this car? I'll just say it, I like this Crown when I got to the Japan at very first time at 1997. And after I back to Taiwan, one day I came to a toy shop and I bought a Tomica, a Crown 8th generation of Tomica, and I like the Tomica very, very well. But I don't think I can find one new car, real car here in Taiwan, because I live in Tainan. There should be some in the Taipei or Taichung or Kaohsiung, but there shouldn't be anyone in Tainan because Tainan was a small city. And when I graduated from the school and I go to work, one day I find there is this Crown was sold at the internet, but with a very expensive price. I couldn't afford about the price. I like this car, I like to buy this car, and this car was sold in Tainan. So I have to spend my patience with some luck. I just pray there's no other guys to bought this car before me with such expensive price. So when I waiting for 1.5 years, the former owner dropped the price to what I can affordable. So I go to see the seller and bought this car just at one time. Oh, when I bought this car back to my house, I just stand right here, this one, left front side, 45 degrees, and I stand right here for at least 1 year, 1 hour, not 1 year, for 1 hour. could that be dream? I bought a Toyota Crown here in Taiwan with HardTop, with the money I can afford. I can't believe it. How could it happen? And later I drove this car to some place to take some photo, and we got a good time, but not for a long while. I bought this car at the March of 2016, and we have to get a car check for twice per year for these old cars. The first time for this car check would be the May of 2016, and I remember it. When I passed the car check, that is a heavy rain. The day was a heavy rain, and when I get rest at the side with the engine on, soon I found why there's smoke comes from my engine hood. What's going on? When I opened the engine hood, I was shocked because the water pipe was broken from the engine. Okay, well, the engine got broken. The engine overheat. Oh, okay, I repaired this engine after I bought this car for 2 months. And I spent a lot of money as well. Okay, when I think, okay, there's no problem for this car, around 1 year, I think it's the next year, maybe the August of the 2007. One day when I take a rest at this car with engine on, I found that the water temperature got over than 110. Whoa, what's going on? So I drive to my car repair shop again and check it. Oh, the engine overheated again. I have to rebuild the engine again. Whoa, that's take a lot of effort and the money again. Yeah, that would be very bad things. But thanks God, there's no other problem after I rebuild the engine again. Till now, from 2017 to till now, the photo was this video was taken at 2024 for 7 years, and I got many effort at the exterior. For example, the alloy wheel. When I bought this car, the alloy wheel is wrong. I don't know why they got the former generation. That would be the 7th generation. I don't know why, but it is very hard to find the 8th generation Crown alloy wheel here in Taiwan. So I bought this from the Japan Yahoo auction and take it to Taiwan. Thanks God, it didn't cost a lot of money. And later I take on this car. I think, okay, that's the Crown that I would like to see. I have to say, I spent a lot of effort and money to maintain this car, but it is very, very worthy, because when I drive this car to some event or some even at the roadside, some people would say would like to take a photo or would like to chat with me. For example, this is the sticker that just I went to some car event and they invite me to get shown of this car. I think it's very interesting. And when I bought this car, I got many energy to study the history of Toyota Crown as well. I can say the history of Toyota Crown is the history of Japan economy. That's very interesting. The Toyota Crown got 6th generation till now. Every generation of the Toyota Crown got the same as the Japanese economy. That's very interesting. No wonder this car is the most important Japanese cars. No wonder this car is the oldest Japanese cars till now. Oh, certainly. If you know the second old Japanese cars, that would be the Nissan Skyline. The first generation of this Nissan Skyline presented in 1957. But I think people will believe that there's no next generation of Nissan Skyline. But we can say there should be a next generation Toyota Crown for the 17th generation. Yeah, because this car is very important car for Japanese, If you went to Japanese, you just take any Japanese, how about Toyota Crown? They will say something to you, because you can take the taxi for the Toyota Crown. You can see many officially government Crown. You can see many companies use the Toyota Crown. It is a part of people live in Japan. That's very interesting car, and I like this car because its history, its exterior, its feeling. So I'm a lucky guy because I could buy this car. I could own this car here in Taiwan because it is very rare here in Taiwan. So today I like to take this video to share with you about the Toyota Crown, about the history, about the Toyota Crown in Taiwan, about this car, the story between this car and me. Okay, thanks for your watching. I'm Celsius. Do you like the Toyota Crown? Please drop your message. Or if there is interesting story for the Toyota Crown in your country, please share with me. I'm Celsius. Thanks for your watching and hope to see you again with another interesting car. See you again. Bye bye.